no one is coming to save you. Only you know what is in your heart. Only you know the deep desire that you have to make change or impact or create or whatever it might be. Hello, and welcome to the latest episode of Unapologetically Yours. I'm your host, Ashley Logan, and I'm so happy to have you here today. Unapologetically Yours is a place where we go deep on everything from spirituality to relationships and connection to business and belief systems, because in a world where we've been taught to play by the rules, it's time to live unapologetically. And I want to call out something that I think I've maybe shared in other episodes, but when I started this podcast, I had this deep, deep desire to use my voice. I think that over the course of time, I had gotten quiet about speaking more about like my needs and my art, my creativity and other things. And so it was really an exercise in self-expression. And what has evolved since then is that this show is a place for women who are high performers, who are wearing a ton of different hats in the world. It's a place where women who are trying to do it all can be seen and understood, because women are tasked with wearing so many hats in the world, and especially working mothers or people who are caregivers and generally in charge of other people. Because of my own lived experience as an entrepreneur, as a mother, and as someone who went down a path of deep, deep self-discovery to come back home to myself, I feel uniquely equipped to speak to this audience. So if this is you, you are in the right place. And if it's not you, stick around. You might learn a thing or two. So today we're talking about agency and realizing that no one's coming to save you. So let's talk about a parable that is one of my favorites. So there's a man, he's a Christian, and it is flooding outside, just absolutely pouring rain. And a person comes by with a truck and says, "Hey, get in. Floods are coming. And let's get out of here." And he said, No. My God will save me." And passed. Then he climbs up on the roof and the flood waters are coming, and someone comes by with a boat and says, "Come on, hop in. We got to get out of here." And he says, "No, my God will save me." And the boat left. And then a helicopter came and he said, "No, my God will save me." And then he drowned and he gets to heaven. And the man says to God, "I thought you were going to save me." And he said, "Yeah, I tried 3 times. I sent you a truck, a boat, and a helicopter." It's interesting to me to think about this and the choices that we have in our lives to save ourselves, and waking up and remembering that we have the opportunity each and every single day to choose one way or the other, whether that is our mindset, whether that is how we treat other people, whether that's what we choose to give our time and attention to. Every day we get the chance to choose. And so even when you might be someone who is in a box where, and what I mean by that is maybe you have to work multiple jobs and your time is largely accounted for because of things outside of your control, you can find a little bit to latch onto that will give you spaciousness, that will give you joy, that will give you agency to remember and return to a sense of self. Because I am here to tell you that no one is coming to save you but you. You are the one unique you, and only you know what is in your heart. Only you know the deep desire that you have to make change or impact or create or whatever it might be. You are the one who knows that thing, and it is up to you to take the first step to find that. This weekend, I went with my mom to see a movie, Send Help, with Rachel McAdams. And oh my God, this movie set me into an absolute tailspin about all of the parallels that it has in how women perceive themselves in culture. Not saying all women, but kind of resigning to some of the roles that maybe we think that we should play, or the hierarchy that we should belong to. And here's the basic premise of the movie. So Rachel McAdams is a somewhat socially awkward savant of a woman who has been waiting to be promoted to vice president role at her company when the big boss either dies or retires, unclear. And the Nepo baby son comes in as a CEO and he finds Linda absolutely revolting, gives her promotion to his buddy who he likes to play golf with, and totally sidelines Linda, even though she's the one who is ultimately like keeping the company afloat by her brains, her genius. But this guy, this Nepo baby new CEO, recognizes that Linda's got to train Donovan. So they board a plane to Bangkok to work out a deal for a merger that Linda, of course, is the only one who can solve the problem about why it's not going through when the plane goes down. And the only people to survive are Rachel McAdams and Nepo baby boss Bradley. One thing about Linda is that she is addicted to Survivor. So she knows all the wilderness shit to get them out of this mess, or at least to not die. And here Bradley is still treating her like she is his subordinate and you work for me, bitch, kind of type mentality. And bless his heart when she packs up her handmade new backpack made of palm leaves and ditches him, and then the story unfolds from there, and it's unhinged and hilarious and very, very, very entertaining. But what was so interesting to me is that Linda had to make a choice at some point on this island of, hey, I get to choose a different role. I get to choose a different version of me and put bet on me. And she did. And that's how they were able to navigate being on a desert island somewhere in the South Asian Sea. But that got me thinking a lot about the roles that we play in our lives and how sometimes we have a tendency to just succumb to the river that's flowing by, the systems that we're in, the current that we're part of. And that could be things like, okay, well, we sign up our kids for this number of sports, or we do this, or these are the people I hang out with, or this is the music I listen to, this is a social setting, this is where I belong. And sometimes these choices are made for us, or sometimes they're older versions of ourselves make these choices. And then we just keep going along for the ride without returning and checking in to examine, is this still working for me or is this not? It is such an important step to take when you're feeling overwhelmed or just blah or generally unhappy, to take sort of inventory about the things that are working in your life and the things that aren't, and then finding that power within you to change it. And change doesn't have to mean burning down your whole life. It can just be in micro increments where it's saying no to the thing you don't want to do, or maybe inviting a new friend out to lunch, or trying a new workout routine or anything like that. You have the power to change and choose, and only you get to decide what is working with you for you and what is not. And what I found in my life through my lived experience is that by tuning into what I want, I started attracting more people and more experiences that were aligned once I removed the things that weren't as aligned. And that makes all of the difference. Now, people's circumstances, I recognize it's not always easy or possible to break free and to do something different, because we as humans have to follow, at least in Western civilization, have to follow a certain playbook of one, earning money, spending money, and as I've said before, paying to be alive. So I understand that some things are more realistic than others with the self-agency piece. But when you start to practice radical self-love, radical self-acceptance, it can really shift how the world feels to live in. So if you are someone who is working a job that you don't really like because you have to make ends meet and it's temporary and yada yada. And if you show up every single day with a frown on your face thinking, fuck this is not what I want to be doing with my day, with my time, with whatever, that energy permeates the rest of the people around you, how you come across to other people. Whereas if you choose to say, this is the thing that I have to do to get to the next level, and I'm going to have a positive attitude, and I'm going to get through this, and I'm going to be thinking about the next thing, and I'm going to use my break to do research on XYZ, the energy that you give off is just absolutely different. And that might help you to attract someone who can then help you on your journey, whatever that might be along the way. We have a choice every day to say, okay, I'm going to wake up and I'm going to find the joy in the little moments, or I'm not. And it's easy to languish right now. Right now, we're living in a time that it just feels so, so, so heavy and so divided. It feels really difficult to be human because every person who's logging into social media is having a completely different experience and seeing the world from a lens that their algorithm has created on their behalf and oftentimes without their consent. And so people are reacting and responding to a set of events that have been fed to them from a particular lens. And it is so absolutely stressful to see the chaos that is going on in America and the toll that it's taking on people's mental health naturally, because there's a lot of really scary and terrible things happening out there right now. And so when you think about how you're going to navigate this level of stress when our bodies weren't designed to take in the amount of trauma that we're seeing in a given day just from scrolling through social media. How do we navigate that? And the trick is to look for the little glimmers, the little bite sized doses of hope that can help get you through the day so that you can have agency over how you're showing up in the world, regardless of whatever box is your reality. And so that can look like a lot of different things. That can look like starting the day with excitement because you're going to pick out something that lights you up to wear, whether it's your favorite sweater, your favorite earrings, whether it's washing your hair with your favorite shampoo. Find the thing that's part of your routine that brings you joy and honor it, acknowledge it, and say, I'm excited today because I'm going to wash my hair with my favorite shampoo. And it sounds so little and maybe even ridiculous, but it's those little glimmers of hope, little glimmers of light that can help get you through the day. So noticing them, thinking about them, and then prioritizing them. For me, when I was going through a really difficult time trying to climb myself, pull myself out of a life that needed to change but was very hard because my whole tapestry of my life had been built around me following a certain set of rules. So to start to undo that took a lot of time and intention, and I was intimidated and I was also weak. I didn't have my sea legs. And so I started with little tiny things like taking an Epsom salt bath or getting excited about a new shampoo, wearing my favorite shirt, finding earrings that lit me up and wearing them every single day. So those little lifelines are a way for you to navigate life through whatever it brings you and take back a little bit of control about your joy, your mood, and your outcome. Because I am here to tell you that when you are living in a state of joy and hope, everything feels totally different. I am so excited because next week I have a guest coming on the show who has overcome so many things that it breaks my heart. This woman found herself with the wrong group of people and then took agency of her life and moved away from them. But it didn't change the fact that the law sort of caught up to her and some of the things from her past found her again, and she ended up serving time in jail. And the way that you're going to hear her entire story, and it's incredible how she was found the little glimmers to be hopeful about, how she maintained consistency in her routine, how she showed love and kindness to other people, and how that got her through the entire sentence so that she could come out on the other side in service to herself and in service to others. And that's the thing that I want everyone to remember is that you do have a choice. Whatever circumstances that you face in your life, you get to choose how you show up. You get to choose what you do next, and you get to choose what your reality looks like and what rules you're going to continue to follow and how you're going to make a change. Can't get over this woman's story, and you'll hear more. I don't want to give too much of it away. But what it comes down to is that regardless of what you're feeling, regardless of what you're experiencing, being honest with yourself about who is coming to save you is really, really important. Speaking from experience, no one is going to come up to you and say, hey, you're burned out. I think that you should do X, Y, and Z. Or, hey, you know that book that you wanted to write? Here's the pen. Start going. No, you are the one who gets to choose. Finding that power, finding that within yourself can feel really daunting, especially if you're facing, just feeling despair, feeling lack of joy, feeling like you're misaligned. So I think that the first thing that you can do is to find little glimmers and use that as the foundation for getting your life back so that you can start to make choices based on what you want, what's going to bring you the most joy. And that's not a selfish thing. It is a beautiful thing because you are on this planet to create an impact. And whether that's big or small, and who's to say what big or small even means, but you are here to do something. And when you find that thing that lights you up, when you have that seed that's been planted in your mind, only you get to decide when you take that first step and what your future is going to look like. And speaking from experience, just taking that one step can change it all. So today, think about one thing that can bring you joy. And if you don't have anything, then tomorrow, add something to your day that's going to bring you joy. Whether, again, something small, making tea in your favorite mug. Acknowledge it, sit with it, appreciate it, let it fill you up. Or wearing your favorite lipstick or your favorite earrings, or adding the sweet honey that you've been saving to your tea. It's those little moments and sitting with them and letting the bliss from those tiny sips of air to fill you up that will give you the courage and the strength to start taking a little bit more ownership in your life. So you're wonderful. You're magical. I can't wait to see what you do in the world. And with that, do not miss next week's episode. You are going to be blown away by the resiliency of my guest and how much taking agency and finding the positive in the little moments can get you out of even the darkest of circumstances. Thank you so much for tuning into this week's episode. Please feel free to like, comment, share, do all the things, send me a message. You can find us on Instagram at Unapologetically Yours Podcast. You can find me on Instagram at Ashley D. Logan. Can't wait to hear from you. Want to hear more? And please leave us a review so more people can find us and start taking back agency in their lives. Thanks again. Go out, make some mischief in the world. And until next time, I'm Ashley Logan, and I am unapologetically yours.